Boston Source checking in here, and I wanted to talk about Jermell Charlo, the undisputed super welterweight champion. He had an interview with Brian Custer. Yep, the last stand with Brian Custer. And that was, soon after the fight that took place between Tszyu and Tszyu-Harrison, where Tszyu was victorious to be the interim WBO champion at 154 pounds, and that solidified his bout coming up against Jermell Charlo. And Jermell Charlo talked about a few things, one in reference to his recovery from his hand injury. So he plans to be back in the ring sometime this summer, would be against Tszyu for those undisputed super welterweight titles. So he's looking forward to that. But you also had a couple of other topics that were brought up by Brian Custer, including Jermell Charlo's plans in the future after the fight against Tszyu. If he's able to, defend those undisputed super welterweight titles. I mean, one thing that kind of was surprising was that, Jermell Charlo looks like he wants to be at 154 pounds for the rest of his career. So that was number one. But number two was, and yep, he was talking about it in reference to, a former undisputed champion at 140 pounds and the current WBO welterweight champion, Terence Crawford. Jermell Charlo, was basically Jermell Charlo is saying, like, listen, I got my own things. I got, I got my own things on my own plate here at 154 pounds. Like, he shouldn't be, talking about me. He got, Errol Spence problems, or he got, Jerome Bruce Ennis problems. So he shouldn't really be talking about me. But if he really wants to talk about me, then, he said, like, hey, he could, give Al Haymon a call and, we can make the fight happen. We ain't nothing. So I don't know, maybe we could see Jermell Charlo and Terence Crawford in 2024. But, that all depends on what happens this year. There are multiple things that are up in the air in reference to potential fights that could be made here in 2023. But, with Terence Crawford having some comments in reference to Jermell Charlo over, the past few months or so, whatever, we wanted to see what Jermell Charlo had in response to that. And yep, he did have, a lot to say in reference to Mr. Terence Crawford. But you still have to see, what is going to be going down with Jermell Charlo. As he says in the summer. I mean, he says, maybe July or August when he's able to come back to face Tszyu. As of right now, as far as like the update that he had for Brian Custer, he said like his hand is, not quite ready to, have him be ready to be in full camp as of yet. So, he said he just had his hand come off the cast. And so there's still like a few other things that had to go through in his recovery process in order for him to, kind of be cleared completely to get back into camp and to prepare for his defense of the undisputed super welterweight championship. So you do have that. So, I mean, it looks like, Jermell Charlo has, pretty much of a schedule, coming up there at 154 pounds. And, you have Tszyu. You do have Sebastian Fundora as currently the interim WBC super welterweight champion that does have a fight coming up on April 8th. But, if Fundora gets through that, then, hey, Jermell Charlo says he's, open for that particular fight as well. But, there's a number of fighters that are out there that Jermell Charlo could still face at 154 pounds. I just named a couple of them. And, yep, of course, he did, talk about potentially facing Terence Crawford and also named Errol Spence as well as a potential fight that says, hey, if the money's right, hey, man, he don't care. He'll fight Errol Spence if the money's right still. So, that is, the main thing that Jermell Charlo was talking about there on the last stand with Brian Custer. But, he definitely has a hit list. And, he is there as a top 5 pound for pound fighter on the Boxing Source pound for pound rankings. So, he definitely wants to get back in the ring and kind of like prove his worth here in the sport of boxing. So, hey, if you got something in reference to, what Jermell Charlo was saying there on The Last Stand with Brian Custer, then, you could, hit us with the comments. You could also support by hitting the like button. We really appreciate it. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the Boxing Source. With that being said, folks, I'm out. Peace.